Hello friends, I'm Veena Thomas and welcome back to our channel Epaulettes Aviation Pilot Training Academy, your route to the cockpit. In my video today, we are going to be discussing about the everyday challenges faced by a pilot. Well, a commercial airline pilot has to prepare for his flight a few days in advance. Well, this is always the case. Doesn't matter, even if your flight is the next day, you have to be prepared before you go for your flight. With the preparation, I mean that there are some factors that need to be kept in mind or that have to be seen before you go for your flight, and those are: it's the weather trend, industrial issues, operational restrictions, type of airfield that you will be flying into, security threats, and the crew composition. Some other things to consider are the technical defects with the aircraft and the flight routing. Now let's talk about the first challenge, that is the weather. In aviation, weather can be one of the most regular and the largest threats that can be faced. So a pilot always has to be monitoring the weather trends. For example, you are supposed to be flying out of Delhi and you're flying to Hyderabad. So yes, on your way, whatever places you will be crossing, you need to be monitoring the trends of the weather at each of these places. You should also be looking for the weather trends at your alternate airports. Now, alternate airports are the airports which are the airports, like in case, for example, like I said, if you're flying from Delhi to Hyderabad and you could not land in Hyderabad for some maybe weather conditions, so there would be an alternate airport where you would go and land. You could be landing in Bangalore. So you also need to know the weather conditions in your alternate airport. So some weather trends that you need to observe are thunderstorms, visibility, wind shears, sandstorms, turbulence, etc. Sometimes these weather conditions can even be out of limits for the aircraft performance. So a proper forecast and planning allows us to create a better and safer plan and carry the required extra fuel to make a second approach or go to the alternate in case of a bad weather. The next is the industrial issues. Although these events occur very rarely, they can add to several other problems that are directly or indirectly related to the flight. Such events could be related to safety and security, industrial workforce strikes, health and safety, etc. The impact of such things could mean severe flight delays, an altered flight routing, and changes in a flight plan. The next challenge is the type of airfield. There are times when we operate into airports that have certain additional challenges. Now, this is usually based on the type of approach, performance limitations, local weather conditions, ATC, terrain, and so on. Pilots get additional training and briefing through the company to operate into such airports. Such airports have the highest number of go-around or the missed approach procedures, and this alone could be complex due to the several restrictions in the procedures. Coming to the next challenge, that is the security threats. Well, it is not required to go in detail about the security threats. It's totally understood about what happens. We have seen it in the news. You get hoax calls, maybe not hoax, but yes, all these are also a challenge faced by the pilots. Now, the next most important challenge is a crew composition. There are many times when we will be flying with inexperienced crew members, for example, a newly trained first officer, or it could also mean an inexperienced captain with a very much experienced first officer. So no matter what the composition, at the end of the day, you are trained to handle whatever situation, and the standard of your training is really high. So yes, you will be able to deal with any abnormal situation. And the last one is the technical defects. Well, modern aircrafts are really reliable machines, but that doesn't mean there could not be any technical glitches. There are times when you have to operate an aircraft with a certain subsystem which is inoperative. Well, let me be very clear with this. There are certain components without which the aircraft manufacturer will not allow you to fly the aircraft if those components are inoperative. This is checked in accordance with the aircraft's MEL list, that is the minimum equipment list. In such a case, the aircraft will be grounded until the problem is rectified. And in certain cases, the inoperative item will let us fly with certain operational restrictions, and we need to be proactive in managing any further in-flight failures. So my dear friends, these are the certain challenges that are faced by pilots in their everyday life. I hope this gives you a rough idea of what really happens and what can be expected. So stay tuned to Epaulettes Aviation for more such informative videos and updates. What are you waiting for? Come, let's fly!